Huh? It's the time already? Well, then I better get going.
Welcome! This is Top Tier Tips. Greetings everyone, this is Force Nature of Top Tier Tips, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up at Dead or Alive 6. Alright, in this session, I welcome you to the beautiful Zack Island at the new Seaside Eden resort, and we're going to be looking at everyone's favorite drunkard, Brad Wong. Before I go on, I just want to give you a heads up that if you're underage, get off the island. Brad is slow, so if you're looking to play with him, then yes, you're going to have to deal with slowness. Like he's got an 11 frame jab, 16 frame 6P, 14 frame 3K, a 14 frame 2P that's neutral on hit 0, which is not good for a slow character. And a 14 frame high kick. So to compensate for his slow speed, Brad has great evasion. So you're going to have to really acquaint yourself with his stances, such as lay down, feet facing forward, lay down, head facing forward, handstand stance, back turn stance, reverse handstand stance, and yes, it's got an 11 frame mid kick out of it. And also Brad has got reset throws. So there's one of them from back turn stance, another one from like behind the opponent, so those things come in really handy with him. And he also even has offensive holds. Anyways, once you're done Brad's command training, and combo challenge, then you're ready to show why you don't need a drink to win. Not quite. It's to take a little bit more than that to be the best drunkard you can be. Like I mentioned earlier, Brad is slow, so that's going to carry over also to the start of a round, also called round 1 fight or R1F. So what that means is that at the start of a round, you're not going to just simply like jab, 6P, 3P, 3K, 2P, any of those things, because that stuff is just simply too slow. But I'll just give you a little tip right now. You can enter into Brad's stances at the start of a round, which can be really helpful. So for instance, something like lay down, head facing forward. You have you have a punch option. You have a pretty good mid kick right there. Got a launcher. Already showed that one. You got like a low kick, so and also you got a offensive hold out of it. So the main reason why you go into this stance is because pretty much any highs or horizontal mids will just basically just fly over you. So by being in laydown, what you're doing is you're forcing the opponent to have to account for this stance. So they're going to be trying to do either like 2Ps or like a mid that can like hit grounded, for instance. So just simply by doing this, by going into stances like laydown, you're heavily reducing the options that the opponent can use to hit you, which is basically just very beneficial to Brad's effectiveness. Other stuff you can do is by going to Brad's back turn stance with 4-4P. Alright, that's 4P. So 4-4P puts you into back turn. And I think I might have mentioned earlier that Brad has a good 2P. See right here, it's 12 frames. Don't mind it being negative on hit because it does have follow-ups, but it does, because of the 18 damage that it deals. I mean, it baits out other lows like really well. It's tracking, so you can't sidestep. So with this move though, it similar to like with laydown, it heavily reduces the options the opponents can do to beat you. Since it's a 12 frame tracking low, it will beat out all other 2Ps. It will go under highs, and basically only like 11 or 12 frame mids or jump in mids will end up beating you out. So this option is pretty good. It's got a follow up also, like lots of I think there might be another one, but in general, yeah, it's like 2PK and 2P, yeah, 2P, 2K. So there's a low option and a mid kick option after it. So that is a pretty good moves. But from front facing, so if you are in neutral when you're fighting the opponent, all right, if the opponent is basically has some has the advantage, and if they're faster than you, they basically have the advantage from default. You're gonna have to be in the block. You're gonna have to be blocking a lot more because I don't really necessarily recommend going into stances when it's not really necessarily safe to do so. So just block, and then when you pressure back, you could use like jab strings, like a PP2K or anything like that, or just like PP, it's a PK. You see, you get left at +9. For your go-to mid, just use, to be on the safe side, just use 3K. As you see right here, it's a lift stun on normal hit. It's got follow-ups, 3K PP, and even combos into itself. Also, well, with the 3K, there's 3KK, and you get a launch off that. So right there's a bit of a mix-up. And as you see, when you do 3KK, this is Brad's special stance right here. It's Dokuritsu, or Dokuritsu Ho, or I just call it crane stance, much easier to remember, or just DHO stance. So with the crane stance, which is so if you do 3KK, it's the same as 9K. So with the crane stance, you get different kind of options out of there. But I'll just go over that stuff like a little later. So I mean, just know that. So when you're basically fighting, when you're retaliating into someone, so when you get the advantage if they're blocking someone, you got your jabs. All right, not that move. You got 3K. Obviously, you have 2P, but Brad has a really good low. That's honestly one of his most annoying moves that to contend with, or for an opponent to deal with, is 1K. See, 1K on its own is not really much of anything. Similar to back turn 2P. It's another tracking low that's crouching. So just simply by being a tracking low that's crouching, it's just generally a good option. But the main thing about 1K is it's got numerous follow-ups. So you could do it like could do 3 lows, leaves them in laydown stance. Well, and here would be laydown on feet facing forward, but it's kind of on an angled. So you could do 1KK, and there's like a couple follow-ups there. You can even do a couple of them. You could just do 2 lows. So I mean, it's just, there's a lot of annoying crap that you can. There's a lot of annoying crap you could do out of that move. So basically, it's like essentially, if you're unsure what move to end up doing to an opponent after retaliation, you can almost always kind of nail them with this. And of course, when they're expecting that, then open them up with the 3K. Jabs are okay, but generally like 3K, 1K will be your usual go-to retaliatory moves. Alright, we're going to be taking a look at Brad's crushes, like high, low crushes, and any notable like tracking moves or guard breaks, because yeah, Brad needs these crushes to compensate for his speed. Your go-to high crush and tracking move will be your 1K. I already showed you that you have a bunch of like crap you can like do out of it, but it's just 1K is just like a really nice go-to tracking move. For another good high crush, like Brad's 4P is really nice. If you do 4PP, then you get you end up getting a lift stun on. I mean, you get a lift stun on normal hit, but if that were to connect on counter hit, then you end up getting a. You end up getting a counter hit launch. So this move right here is Brad's go-to launcher. The 4P in itself is actually kind of a stance. I mean, it's augments Brad's stand-in evasion pretty well, like 4P, 4P8, 4P2. So it's basically a tech crouching, high crushing stance that has like a built-in like sidestep. Same with like the different laydown stances. Like laydown in itself, of course, this is your go-to high crush and mid crush is laydown, either head facing forward, feet facing forward. If you press up, up, or down, down, 8, 8, or 2, 2, you see you end up rolling. You can do that in the other laydown. So it's just like this stance was really gonna annoy the hell out of your opponents, because the fact is that even like doing this during neutral, the opponent still has to try and find ways to end up like dealing with it. Some of the players may just back off, but it's just that usually when you're in this stance, you're more likely to be in control of the situation. For a couple more high crushes to complement 4PP, you also have 3-3P, 3-3K. So I mean, so basically the 3-3 moves. So yeah, Brad has like a bunch of Brad has a bunch of high crush launchers. But if they connect on normal hit, you'll just get a lift stun like that. But if you do like get a lift stun with like 33p, just launch with like 9k or just launch normally. Quarter circle P is also good. So I mean, yeah, you have a couple options right there. As for low crushes, you have a bunch of options. You have like 8k, 8h plus k, 6h plus k, 9k, crane stance, H plus K, and you have a couple follow-ups with PP. So yeah, a bunch of like Brad's moves can hop around and stuff like that. Brad is a very handy high crush from his back turn stance. So just do 4-4P, go into back turn. It's 2P plus K. You see right there, it's a 15 frame mid punch that just goes down into lay down head facing forwards. So you see this move here, just 2P plus K. Hell, I can even like zone with this if you just do 2P plus K. So it looks like you're just going into this stance, but it's just before you know it, you just got nailed by the elbow, and it's a good way to be able to set up to set up some lay down stance shenanigans. Of course, from lay down, your go-to is your offensive hold. So basically, when the opponents are expecting when the opponent is expecting the offensive hold, what you do is just annoy the hell out of this, because this will beat out a lot of stuff. The opponent will have to do a low throw in order to beat you out, or if they just simply crouch, they'll go under it. And then with that, then you can like nail them with either the K option or the P plus K option out of there. So yeah, but just for reiteration, 2P plus K, back turn 2P plus K is really nice. And like really annoying. For a similarly nice high crush that goes into lay down feet facing forward, you have 4-4K. You see this move right here is 14 frames. It's a mid kick, crouches really well, leaves you in lay down at plus 17 with a bit of space. So from here, it creates, well, because it creates a bit of space, you can't really do that much with it. A lot of stuff will whiff. Generally, what you're going to be using it for is a bit of a bait. So if the opponent like runs at you or I mean dashes at you or anything, you could do the offensive hold, and it will usually beat out most responses that the opponent will do to you. As long as the opponent is not jumping at you or crouching, then the low offensive hold will end up beating them out. For other options out of here, the H will say low can annoy the hell out of them. You have the K option is a lift stun or launcher on counter hit. Alright, you have a sidestep in, also a track and move with the P plus K option. And now for Brad's new 8P plus K option. See the new close hit move. This move is really jeez, the coconut. This move is really sneaky, because it looks like a low like 8 plus K or something, but it's a jump in mid kick. I mean, and so it beats out lows. It's still crouching. I mean, it's just a really sneaky move. It's got a close hit property, so that move will trip people up a lot. And if it were to get blocked, let me just make sure. And if this move were to get blocked, then you see right there, it's neutral on guard. So that's just like that's actually honestly incredibly generous if you ask me. So I mean, I really don't have to reiterate it, but Brad's laydown stances are just great. I mean, just both of them. Brad has an interesting jump in track and high kick. His 4H plus K. All right, if you just do a single one and ends up leaving him in his back turn stance, where moves like back turn 6P plus KP is pretty nice. And of course, he also gets a bunch of good tools from there. But for the 4H plus K, you could do it up to 3 times, still leaves him back turned. So that's just 3 track and high kicks. You can end up with a P option. You can go down into lay down. You can end off in a low. So You could use this to trip people up quite well. If I'm not mistaken, the initial high kicks I don't think are holdable, so I think you just do that special side step if you hold them. I mean, I may be wrong. I'm just trying to go by memory on that point, but I noticed that this is a move that just seems a lot more effective than it may look. I mean, it can look like a highly telegraphed move, but it's just that the kind of stuff you could do out of it is the stuff you can actually do out of it can be pretty crafty. Of course, be careful not to be too predictable with it, because you can leave yourself punishable if the opponent ends up like calling out where you end the string or anything like that. But this move is pretty nice. So it tech jumps, it's a tracking move, it's pretty good high kick. So this is a nice move to implement into your arsenal. I'll just say right now that Brad has a lot of numerous kind of like high crush, low crush type of moves. I don't know if I can really go over all of them, like from like handstand or like reverse handstand. I mean, like Brad has like a lot of like good options out of that, and he even has like right there like the reverse handstand H plus K, which is like a 7K like move. So I mean, like there's a lot of different evasive moves that you have to kind of familiarize yourself with if you're gonna, well, if you're gonna be really diving into how Brad operates. Brad from mid-range and further out is interesting to say the least. Alright, his neutral game is not really the best. It's not really, I don't really think it's that good, but it's not exactly terrible either. You want to be fairly close to your opponent, because his combat isn't really suited to long range. But on the other hand, you don't really want to get smothered by a speed demon opponent either. Alright, but some move, like let's say a nice go-to get-in move you can use is like his 6-6K. See right there, it goes into laydown, feet facing forward, and is a decent low. This move will be mixed up with either the run-in P, so the run-in headbutt, which looks a lot like 236P. All right, just for this headbutt move right now, which is a mid punch. I'll just let you know if the opponent blocks. Yeah, I might as well put this on. If the opponent blocks 236P. Alright, you're at -8 and you're in a stance where you can't block or anything. If the opponent actually blocks this version, you could be low throwing for free. But if you were to do the other one, run in P, you're now -5. So the opponent actually cannot low throw you for free unless they have a 4-frame low throw. Or, well, a low offensive hold would be pretty good here. But for someone like Ayane, her low throw won't really work against that. So as you can probably guess, the run-in P is better. It comes out faster. Like you said, this move is just sneakier. It comes out faster, and it's negative on block, but it's not like unsafe. So under most circumstances, you can't really get punished. But I will let you know that true tracking mid. Well, for instance, something like Ayane's 4P can actually hit him for free. But if the tracking mid hits on normal hit, then it's probably not terrible. But if it's something that's like is really damaging on like normal hit, like I know Hayabusa has a tracking mid that can be really damaging for when he's in that stance, then yeah, you have to be a bit careful with this. The biggest downside about this move is just the fact that when Brad's at range, I mean, there's a very high chance he's probably going to try and do that move, so it could be a little telegraphed. So that's when you can usually tend to sneak in 6-6K pretty well. But as you can guess, those are both just kind of like get-in moves. But with regards to like kind of like poking or anything like that, Brad is not really like that good. I mean, honestly, I like his 8K, but like 3K, 6K is kind of okay. It's just a lot of his pokes are either like slow or they don't really necessarily have the best like range or anything. And I mean, you can even use like something that's interesting is the 6H plus K, which is also a really good low crush, is only like -5 on block. Although it's 25 frames, so it's kind of slow. So this is a move you usually can maybe do on like an opponent's wake up. But with regard, this is where the thing I find is kind of a little lacking with Brad is he in the neutral game, he doesn't really have much in the way of poking. So what you're going to be trying to do is try and bait stuff out. Like I think I made a mention of back turn 6p plus KP. See, this moves -6 on blocks, so that's considered semi-safe. The only absolute attempt at punishment can be like a neutral throw, which is can be broken. So that move is safe on block, but that one again is not really a poke. That's more of like a get-in move. So I did show you. I think I mentioned a little earlier that like you can even kind of use like back turn 2p plus K as kind of like a bit of a bait move too. If the opponent runs at you, then you have back turn H plus K, a 13 frame mid kick. But for Brad though, you have to get a little like crafty with how you get in, and you have to be like a little careful with like always like trying to get in like 6-6K. But if you make the opponent if you can make the opponent respect this, then you can definitely sneak in 6-6K. But for this one's a little telegraphed crane stance H plus K. It does have 2 delayable falls. I showed you that before, but it's there's also like H plus K. But yeah, it's just in terms of like just genuine safe poking. That's the weakness I find with Brad's neutral game. Like his range on his moves is not really the best, and his speed's not the best. So yeah, so if you could try and avoid playing a lot of neutral with Brad, that would be great. It's almost kind of like with Helena. I mean, if you could try and annoy the opponent with some shenanigans from your stances too would be nice. Also, like the laydown stances. But yeah, I mean, be careful in the neutral game with Brad. And if it helps, Brad is a good track and low in 2H plus K. It's got a track and follow up that causes a gigantic stumble stun. I mean, knocks the opponent away quite a bit. So you could try and sneak in like 6-6P or like 6-6K, stuff like that. But this move is this move is pretty good though. So I mean, keeping the opponent on their toes. I mean, like almost literally making the opponent respect Brad's lows is really helpful for. I mean, is helpful for his general game plan. So yeah, 2 H plus K is nice to implement into your playstyle also. Brad Wong's throw game is pretty good. I mean, it's the better throws do tend to be the ones that tend to kind of reset the opponent, which I highly recommend implementing into your playstyle if you are seeking success with Brad. Here's Brad's 5-frame neutral throw, 47 damage, 7-frame punish throw, 52 damage, and here's 4T, one of his reset throws. Leaves you at plus 11, which allows you to get a free T. So if you do this right away, just press the T button. Now you see there you get additional. You end up getting 57 damage plus back turn. So plus 8 plus back turn is the same as plus 13 due to the whole add an extra 5 frames to turn around and guard in DOA 6. But unfortunately, due to the spacing of this, his jab doesn't really reach, so you don't really get anything guaranteed off that. So you can end up going for a mix up, like just either use like basically like 3KP, 3K, well that was 3K, 6K if you want the track and high, and of course good old 1K. You can even just sneak in, jeez, the coconut. Sneak in like 6K if you want to get a knockdown, and you go into laydown, some shenanigans. Like there's like kind of a bunch of stuff you can do with that. But yeah, but 4T, as you can see, is one of Brad's better throws. If you'd like an alternative to 4T for your 10 frame throw punish, you do have a 6-6T or 4-4T. It does 60 damage, which would end up being quite a lot on high counter. Like about 96. Wow, see? So this move is pretty devastating. It knocks the opponent away, which is, well, depending on the opponent. I'm not sure if you necessarily would want to necessarily knock him away too far, but still though, this is still a pretty good throw though. Even I know 4T leads to sets up the shenanigans, but like I said, if you just want to knock someone into the wall, 60 is nice. For Brad's 12 frame throw, it's his quarter circle forward T right there, does 66 damage. Not sure if it's supposed to hit the wall. Yeah, of course it can hit the wall, so you can get there an extra 10 damage. So with 66 damage, that'll be like that'll be over 100 on, should be well over 100 on high counter. Like that's good. That's good damage for what is technically a striker class character. Alright, so it's 105 in open space and 115 if you slam the opponent into the wall. So yeah, it's a nice strong 12 frame throw for Brad. And now for Brad's specialty throws. Majority of them are offensive holds, also known as catch throws, or basically throws that beat out strikes. Alright, because I'm in laydown head facing forward right now, I can do this one right here. 64 damage on high counter, which means if you beat out a strike, then you'll get the extra 100. You'll get the 160% damage reduction, but otherwise you'll just get 40 damage. If you go into normal laydown, which is 2P plus K. All right, I'll just like tell you right now. So 3P plus K goes into head facing forward laydown, and just simply doing 2P plus K goes into leg facing forward. As you see, this, if you want to create like a little bit of space, then use 2P plus K. If you want to kind of harass the opponent with this stance, then you do head facing forward. Is more preferable because it keeps him close there. That mid kick's really good, and you have this good offensive hold right here. See, both of them just deal 40 damage or 64 on high counter, but you'll be surprised though how often you can usually beat out stuff with the opponents. Like, you know that you're really succeeding with Brad if you hit these moves a lot and the opponents are just not beating him out. Even though I know all you have to do is just do a low throw. Alright, but I'll just continue on some more throws right here. From the crane stance to DHO stance, here's his stand-in offensive hold. I mean, so here's the one offensive hold that doesn't require to be in laydown. Just simply press T while in the stance. You have a 19 frame offensive hold, so you can't really react to that. You see, you can still do your jab becomes 12 frames out of there. The high kick, you have the high kick. So you have basically like a bunch of options out of there. So you can generally sneak this in. You could generally sneak this in like pretty easily. Be careful, if you do press some 4K, which goes in the crane stance automatically, the opponent will basically just punch you or 2PU for, well, basically 2PU for free. So you have to kind of be careful if you end up going into the stance while not at advantage or anything like that, because again, your jab is 12 frames and other moves are kind of like slow. So but anytime you have an advantage though, yeah, this offensive hold is pretty. This offensive hold's pretty nice. I showed you this a little earlier, but another one of Brad's reset throws is his back turn T. Alright, it's a combo throw. I might have probably showed you the combo throw. You see the combo throw appear on the screen. If you don't press any input, then you basically just get the one I just did right there. You see the combo throw, and you can blast the opponent into the environment. If you actually get that on high counter, that actually does on high counter, that actually like does a lot of damage. Let's see if I can just show you. There, 96 on high counter, so that's really good. But under most circumstances, you're probably going to use it for the reset. So see right here, you're at plus 12, and you're back turn to your opponent. So what this means is free 2P plus K. Alright, so let me just show you like a combo that you can do off of back turn T throw. And just for kicks, Brad has low throws out of his laydown. Just do 2T. Both laydown stances. Just 2T, so yeah, even crouching is not safe against the dreaded Laydown. In Dead or Alive 6, most characters naturally are dangerous to the wall, and Brad Wong is no exception. As for wall slam moves, I'll just say right now, Brad Wong's wall slamming moves are not really the fastest, but some stuff you can use the wall slam with can be like 8p, 6pp, 9k, 1kk, and it also stuff like back turn, like I showed that move earlier, back turn 6p plus kp. If you want like the small wall slam, 8k can do it, 6p can do it, and not sure if I just said it, but yeah, but 6kk can also wall slam. It's also the second hit of 6kk is that same safe jump in mid kick ender. If you wall slam the opponent with something that doesn't leave you in any sort of stance like 6pp, then just use 3kp 6p as your wall juggle. If you wall slam the opponent with something that leaves Brad in crane stance, such as like 9k or 3kk, then just go for the swag combo. If you get those small wall slumps such as with 8k or 6xp, then do a launch into a bound combo. Set up juicy damage. Alright guys, that's it for now. Alright, I'll just give you a few other tidbits with Brad. Alright, a good kind of a handy way that you can use to go into crane stance other than just like 4k or 9k. You can also do stuff like PP8 also can go into his crane stance. As for like from handstand, like I may have already told you that he has an 11 frame mid kick from that. That will usually be your go-to. I do also like the H plus K option. Also a mid kick. I'll let you know that when Brad's in handstand, he's likely going to do a mid kick. You got your low punch out there, and it goes into laydown. For reverse handstand, for this one, you still also got the same mid kick. You got to throw out of it. You also got to throw out of forward. So out of forward or backwards, you got to throw out of that. But from, let's say, reverse handstand, P plus K option will generally be your go-to. Where obviously the kick option is just to stifle the opponent to try and keep them in place. Then the P plus K option is what's going to be like setting up your offense. Oh, and a handy string that Brad has that he can use in both close range and neutral game is his forward back or 6-4 strings. See, there's usually, for these ones, there's a lot of see if I can just kind of find it here, because I'll just say right now, Brad has a crap ton of moves. All right, you see right there, 4-6. I mean, he has what, over 196 moves if you look through his command training. See right here, there are numerous ones for the forward back. I showed you the forward back PPP. He has forward back P, 6P, forward back P, 4P, and the kick options there usually are like a low kick. See, like a low kick. So that's that was the forward back P, KP. All right, there's forward punch. And there's the kick option right there. And if you hold down, down, then you go into laydown stance. So this is a nice. This is basically just a nice string just to kind of like shake up your opponent a little bit. Now it's mostly made up of mid punches, and you have like a sneaky low in there. So yeah, so this is also like a pretty. This is actually a pretty sneaky. It's a pretty sneaky string. Brad Wong's Fatal Rush string right here. The S is pretty interesting. A single S. See, if you end up holding down, then you can go into the laydown stance and end up doing your shenanigans or whatever. If you do 2 hits, see the second hit's really staggered, so it comes out slowly. You see, Brad goes into his handstand stance. if you end up doing 3 hits, then go press back, then you go into the crane stance. So it's like every hit of his Fatal Rush can go into a different stance, so you can get a little sneaky with that. But in general, of course, Fatal Rush attacks start off with a slow high, so yeah. So you do have to use them in fairly specific situations. And it's got all the same properties of a Fatal Rush with the Fatal Stun and all that. But it is still kind of cool that he can transition into different different stances off of it. And it's just the general flow of it also can like really throw people off also. And to help Brad deal with all those pesky lows for when he goes in the laydown head facing forward, press the guard button, he has a low parry. So for instance, if I were to go into his laydown head facing forward, you can low parry basically any low right there. So that just adds to the mind game too, along with having the ability to sidestep linear. Along with having the ability to sidestep linear lows, Brad also gets the parry, but only from head facing forward. From the other stance, he just simply pops up. So that's like really that's basically forcing the opponent to have to use a ground hit in mid to be able to get you. For instance, if you end up going into this right here. Alright guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me on this journey of the new Zack Island Resort, Seaside Eden. But if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So that means leaving a comment down below. You can also contact Force Nature on freestepdodge.com. And be sure to check out my other character guides and top tier tips advanced guides, because as you can guess, these all these guides come together really nicely and show off this beautiful game that is Dead or Alive 6. And if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to join Top Tier Fighters. The support does help, and I do appreciate it. Anyways, this is Force of Nature signing off, telling you to drink responsibly, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.